Can all the little things add up to become one great movie? I'm doing a spoiler-free review of The Little Things. Hey Twisted people, it's your Twisted Woman here, Chauncey K. Robinson, and today I am doing a spoiler-free review of The Little Things, the movie. The Little Things follows two police officers who try to catch a serial killer in 1990 Los Angeles when they find a strange man who becomes their top suspect. I think the title of the movie is really hitting it on the nose when it comes to perhaps my feelings about the movie. It's one of these things where there's so many little things throughout the film that you can really like, but it always stays the little things. It never truly, in watching this, culminated to become the great movie I thought it was going to be. Not necessarily a horrible movie, just not the great movie that I thought I was going to sit down and watch. And perhaps part of that is because the bar is set really high. You have these three juggernaut actors in one movie: Denzel Washington, Jared Leto, Rami Malek. And you're just thinking, oh my gosh, there's going to be so many scenes that are just going to be, they're going to be chewing the scenery. Oh my gosh, it's just going to be like, oh, that's so powerful. Wow, whoa, wow. And it's not necessarily like that. It's a very quiet film. And at first I thought it was going to be a slow burner kind of film. You know, like it's about almost 2 hours, and it's about an hour and 45 minutes or so. And I thought, okay, this might be a film where it has to kind of lay the groundwork. Maybe the first 45 minutes to an hour is going to be like, just really subtle character scenes that are cool but greatly acted but very low key. And then, oh my gosh, the last half of this is going to be nuts and really intense, and things are going to go down because it's a serial killer background of the movie. Like, I mean, people are dying, right? And that's not what happens. In that sense of the tone of this film, it stays quiet. It stays a quiet film. So it's not a slow burn. It's a quiet film because, slow burns means that something eventually has to catch fire, right? That's not necessarily the case with this film. Nothing actually catches fire. Everything kind of stays a slow simmer. And I admit, I thought maybe we were going to get something like Seven. If people remember the movie Seven with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, where you had this killer on the loose and you had this really cool character introspections and things going on, and the killer kind of heightened that for the characters and stuff. And this was going on in the midst of trying to figure out what was happening. And you don't necessarily get that with The Little Things. I feel like The Little Things is more of a character study. The only issue with that, because there's nothing wrong with a character study thriller or whatnot, the issue with that is I never really felt like I got to truly know the characters. The acting is really great. That is probably a given, right? But this is the thing. The acting is going to be great for the most part. And almost because of the fact that it's such quiet scenes and whatnot, you are almost kind of like, these actors could probably do what they're doing in this film in their sleep with what they were given in terms of what they are trying to need to convey. And Denzel is bringing it. He is inserting. You can tell by his interpretation of the characters, of the simple lines that he gives, that there are layers to this character, that he has done his character work in the way these characters are supposed to be. His character, Rami Malek's character, Jared Leto's character, they did their study, their scene study. I have a degree in drama. I know. So it's there. I just feel like they never get the true chance to really unpack it. Like, some things in this film are so subtle and little, for lack of a better term, or the perfect term, given the title of this movie, that you don't notice them, even though you probably should. For example, I didn't realize, even after finishing the film, until reading like the synopsis and things like that this is set in the 90s. Now, I guess I should have gotten that in some regard of how the characters communicated, but there was just no real aesthetic to really stand out in that regard, that this is in the 90s, to the point where you almost wonder, why is it set in the 90s? There's honestly really no reason it needs to be set in the 90s. I don't know, maybe it just wanted that aesthetic, but it doesn't actually utilize that. I don't know. It just seemed weird. Maybe they didn't want to do the 70s and 80s because there were a lot of, infamous serial killers during that time, like, Richard Ramirez and things like that. So maybe they wanted their own kind of 90s version. It just was like, it's so subtle. I didn't notice. So does that make it good or like bad that I didn't notice? I don't know. Whose fault was that? I don't necessarily think it was mine as the viewer. The way I feel about The Little Things is that it's a film that I think should have had more impact on the viewer than I think it will for most viewers. And I think that's potential not utilized as well as it could have been. The trigger warnings for The Little Things are mental illness, death scenes shown. My twisted final grade for The Little Things is a C. Okay, Twisted people, so that is my spoiler-free review of The Little Things. Let me know your thoughts, comment down below, and also be sure to subscribe so that you are the first to know when I post my videos. Thanks for watching. Let's get creepy together.